नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते। ओम। Let's continue from 25. चक्रराजरथारूढ सर्वायुध परिष्कृता गेयचक्ररथारूढ मन्त्रिणी परिसेविता किरिचक्ररथारूढ दण्डनाथा पुरस्कृता ज्वालामालिनिका क्षिप्तवह्निप्राकारमध्यगा भण्डसैन्यवधोद्युक्तशक्तिविक्रमहर्षिता नित्या पराक्रमाटोपनिरीक्षणसमुत्सुका भण्डपुत्रवधोद्युक्तबाला विक्रमनन्दिता मन्त्रिण्यम्बा विरचितविषङ्गवधतोषिता विशुक्रप्राणहरणवाराही वीर्यनन्दिता कामेश्वरमुखालोककल्पितश्रीगणेश्वरा महागणेश निर्भिन्न विघ्नयन्त्र प्रहर्षिता भण्डासुरेन्द्र निर्मुक्त शस्त्र प्रत्यस्त्र वर्षिणी कराङ्गुलिनखोत्पन्न नारायण दशाकृतिः महापाशुपतास्त्राग्निर्दग्धासुरसैनिका कामेश्वरास्त्र निर्दग्ध सभण्डासुरशून्यका ब्रह्मोपेन्द्रमहेन्द्रादिदेव संस्तुत वैभवा हरनेत्राग्निसन्दग्धकामसञ्जीवनौषधिः श्रीमद्वाग्भवकूटैकस्वरूपमुखपङ्कजा कण्ठाधः कटिपर्यन्तमध्यकूटस्वरूपिणी शक्तिकूटैकतापन्नकट्यधो भागधारिणी मूलमन्त्रात्मिका मूलकूटत्रयकलेवरा कुलामृतैकरसिका कुलसङ्केतपालिनी कुलाङ्गना कुलान्तस्था कौलिनी कुलयोगिनी अकुला समयान्तस्था समयाचारतत्परा मूलाधारैकनिलया ब्रह्मग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मणिपूरान्तरुदिता विष्णुग्रन्थिविभेदिनी आज्ञाचक्रान्तरालस्था रुद्रग्रन्थिविभेदिनी सहस्राराम्बुजारूढा सुधा साराभिवर्षिणी तटिल्लता समरुचिः षट्चक्रोपरि संस्थिता महाशक्तिः कुण्डलिनी बिसतन्तु तनीयसी. Let's move forward. भवानी भावनागम्या भवारण्यकुठारिका भद्रप्रिया भद्रमूर्तिर्भक्तसौभाग्यदायिनी भवानी भावनागम्या भवारण्यकुठारिका भद्रप्रिया भद्रमूर्तिर्भक्तसौभाग्यदायिनी भवानी भावनागम्या भवारण्यकुठारिका भद्रप्रिया भद्रमूर्तिर्भक्तसौभाग्यदायिनी भवानी भावनागम्या भवारण्यकुठारिका भद्रप्रिया भद्रमूर्तिर् भक्त सौभाग्यदायिनी भवानी भावनागम्या भवारण्यकुठारिका भद्रप्रिया भद्रमूर्तिर्भक्त सौभाग्यदायिनी भक्तिप्रिया भक्तिगम्या भक्तिवश्या भयापहा शाम्भवी शारदाराध्या शर्वाणी शर्मदायिनी भक्तिप्रिया भक्तिगम्या भक्तिवश्या भयापहा शाम्भवी शारदाराध्या शर्वाणी शर्मदायिनी भक्तिप्रिया भक्तिगम्या भक्तिवश्या भयापहा शाम्भवी शारदाराध्या शर्वाणी शर्मदायिनी शाङ्करी श्रीकरी साध्वी शरच्चन्द्रनिभानना शातोदरी शान्तिमती निराधारा निरञ्जना शाङ्करी श्रीकरी साध्वी शरच्चन्द्रनिभानना शातोदरी शान्तिमती निराधारा निरञ्जना शाङ्करी श्रीकरी साध्वी शरच् चन्द्र निभानना शरच्चन्द्र निभानना शरच्चन्द्र निभानना शातोदरी शान्तिमती निराधारा निरञ्जना निर्लेपा निर्मला नित्या निराकारा निराकुला निर्गुणा निष्कला शान्ता निष्कामा निरुपप्लवा निर्लेपा निर्मला नित्या निराकारा निराकुला निर्गुणा निष्कला शान्ता निष्कामा निरुपप्लवा 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 निर्लेपा निर्मला नित्या निराकारा निराकुला निर्गुणा निष्कला शान्ता निष्कामा निरुपप्लवा निर्लेपा निर्मला नित्या निराकारा निराकुला निर्गुणा निष्कला शान्ता निष्कामा निरुपप्लवा नित्यमुक्ता निर्विकारा निष्प्रपञ्चा निराश्रया नित्यशुद्धा नित्यबुद्धा निरवद्या निरन्तरा नित्यमुक्ता निर्विकारा निष्प्रपञ्चा निराश्रया नित्यशुद्धा नित्यबुद्धा निरवद्या निरन्तरा नित्यमुक्ता निर्विकारा निष्प्रपञ्चा निराश्रया नित्यशुद्धा नित्यबुद्धा निरवद्या निरन्तरा निष्कारणा निष्कलङ्का निरुपाधिर्निरीश्वरा नीरागा रागमथनी निर्मदा मदनाशिनी निष्कारणा निष्कलङ्का निरुपाधिर्निरीश्वरा 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 नीरागा रागमथनी निर्मदा मदनाशिनी निष्कारणा निष्कलङ्का निरुपाधिर्निरीश्वरा नीरागा रागमथनी निर्मदा मदनाशिनी निश्चिन्ता निरहङ्कारा निर्मोहा मोहनाशिनी निर्ममा ममता हन्त्री निष्पापा पापनाशिनी निश्चिन्ता निरहङ्कारा निर्मोहा मोहनाशिनी निर्ममा ममता हन्त्री निष्पापा पापनाशिनी निश्चिन्ता निरहङ्कारा निर्मोहा मोहनाशिनी निर्ममा ममता हन्त्री निष्पापा पापनाशिनी निष्क्रोधा क्रोधशमनी निर्लोभा लोभनाशिनी निस्संशया संशयघ्नी निर्भवा भवनाशिनी निष्क्रोधा क्रोधशमनी निर्लोभा लोभनाशिनी निस्संशया संशयघ्नी निर्भवा bhavanashini. Here after the visarga, since there is a sa, the visarga itself transforms into a sa too. So nissamshaya samshayagni. Now because of the samyukta akshara, the previous swara being a hraswa swara, a short vowel, will consume the first letter, which means samshayagni, samshayagni. निस्संशया संशयघ्नी निर्भवा भवनाशिनी निष्क्रोधा क्रोधशमनी निर्लोभा लोभनाशिनी निस्संशया संशयघ्नी निर्भवा भवनाशिनी निर्विकल्पा निराबाधा निर्भेदा भेदनाशिनी निर्नाशा मृत्युमथनी निष्क्रिया निष्परिग्रहा 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 निस्तुला नीलचिकुरा निरपाया निरत्यया दुर्लभा दुर्गमा दुर्गा दुःखहन्त्री सुखप्रदा निस्तुला नीलचिकुरा निरपाया निरत्यया दुर्लभा दुर्गमा दुर्गा दुःखहन्त्री सुखप्रदा निस्तुला नीलचिकुरा निरपाया निरत्यया दुर्लभा दुर्गमा दुर्गा दुःखहन्त्री सुखप्रदा दुष्टदूरा दुराचार शमनी दोषवर्जिता सर्वज्ञा सान्द्र करुणा समानाधिकवर्जिता दुष्टदूरा दुराचार शमनी दोषवर्जिता सर्वज्ञा सान्द्र करुणा समानाधिकवर्जिता समानाधिकवर्जिता दुष्टदूरा दुराचार शमनी दोषवर्जिता सर्वज्ञा सान्द्र करुणा समानाधिकवर्जिता सर्वशक्तिमयी सर्वमङ्गला सद्गतिप्रदा सर्वेश्वरी सर्वमयी सर्वमन्त्रस्वरूपिणी सर्वशक्तिमयी सर्वमङ्गला सद्गतिप्रदा सर्वेश्वरी सर्वमयी सर्वमन्त्रस्वरूपिणी सर्वशक्तिमयी सर्वमङ्गला सद्गतिप्रदा सर्वेश्वरी सर्वमयी सर्वमन्त्रस्वरूपिणी सर्वयन्त्रात्मिका सर्वतन्त्ररूपा मनोन्मनी माहेश्वरी महादेवी महालक्ष्मीर्मृडप्रिया 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 महारूपा महापूज्या महापातकनाशिनी महामाया महासत्त्वा महाशक्तिर्महारतिः महारूपा महापूज्या महापातकनाशिनी महामाया महासत्त्वा महाशक्तिर्महारतिः महारूपा महापूज्या महापातकनाशिनी महामाया महासत्त्वा महाशक्तिर्महारतिः महाभोगा महैश्वर्या महावीर्या महाबला महाबुद्धिर्महासिद्धिर्महायोगेश्वरेश्वरी. Listen carefully. महाबुद्धिर्महासिद्धिर्महायोगेश्वरेश्वरी. महाबुद्धिर्महासिद्धिर्महायोगेश्वरेश्वरी. महाभोगा महैश्वर्या महावीर्या महाबला महाबुद्धिर्महासिद्धिर्महायोगेश्वरेश्वरी. महातन्त्रा महामन्त्रा महायन्त्रा महासना महायागक्रमाराध्या महाभैरवपूजिता महातन्त्रा महामन्त्रा महायन्त्रा महासना महायागक्रमाराध्या महाभैरवपूजिता महातन्त्रा महामन्त्रा महायन्त्रा महासना महायागक्रमाराध्या महाभैरवपूजिता महायागक्रमाराध्या महाभैरवपूजिता महातन्त्रा महामन्त्रा महायन्त्रा महासना महायागक्रमाराध्या महाभैरवपूजिता महेश्वर महाकल्प महाताण्डव साक्षिणी महाकामेश महिषी महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी 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 चतुष्षष्ट्युपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटि योगिनी गणसेविता चतुष्षष्ट्युपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटि योगिनी गणसेविता चतुष्षष्ट्युपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटि योगिनी गणसेविता चतुष्षष्ट्युपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटियोगिनी गणसेविता चतुष्षष्ट्युपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटियोगिनी गणसेविता मनुविद्या चन्द्रविद्या चन्द्रमण्डलमध्यगा चारुरूपा चारुहासा चारुचन्द्रकलाधरा 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 चराचर जगन्नाथा चक्रराजनिकेतना पार्वती पद्मनयना पद्मरागसमप्रभा 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 अस्तु. So we have covered so far 60 verses, and it's just 1/3 of it. If there are any questions in any particular shloka, feel free to ask. Any shloka needs to be repeated? Or- Sure. 58. चतुष्षष्ट्युपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटियोगिनी गणसेविता चतुष्षष्ट्युपचाराढ्या 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 चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी 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 महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटि 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 योगिनी गणसेविता योगिनी गणसेविता योगिनी गणसेविता. Would you like to try?
Yeah. चतुष्षष्टियुपचरत्य चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी चतुष्षष्टिकोटियोगिनी Sevita.
Chatushashtyupa. Shatyu. Shashtyu. Shashtyu.
Chastyupa.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Chatushashtyupa. Any other questions? Astu. So then let's resume discussing the meaning. We have done till Mahalavanya Shevadhi, and she is sitting in Kadambavana. She is Kamakshi Kamadagini. So we had stopped at 23. Now begins the set of verses where she is combating Bhandasura. So the story goes that when Kamadeva was burnt down by Shiva, he turned into ashes. And then his wife, which was Rati, she started lamenting and she was grieving all throughout. And it is said that because of her grief, Parvati and the other gods took pity, and they asked how. I mean, she went to different gods asking for rejuvenating and reviving her lost husband. So now, so one fine day she went to all the different ganas of Shiva, and one of them, some stotras, I mean, some Puranas say it was Ganesha. The others, they just say it is one of the other ganas of Shiva who agreed to reviving from the ashes the husband, but they were not able to do so. So what happened was, uh, so she took the ashes and she started, giving it to from one person to another, asking to revive and rejuvenate, which was not happening. And one of the ganas, he took a small piece of this, of these ashes, and he just tried to experiment with it. He tried giving life into it, and he was to some degree successful because the small handful of ash turned into a boy, a baby boy. But because it was born from a gana, uh, it was not really of good shape. This this little child, and but it was very capable because one, it had the blessings of Kamadeva. It was, I mean, it was born from the ashes of Kamadeva. Secondly, it had touched Rati Devi. Third, it had the blessings of Shiva indirectly because Shiva's third eye, which is the most powerful, the most powerful flame resides in his eye, the Jnana Agni, and so it was touched by Shiva's Jnana Agni. And also now it was, I mean, the Kamadeva was no less powerful himself. He was also the son of, some people say it was of Narayana, and others say it is he's a minister of Indra too. So this set of ashes, which was revived by the Gana, has the blessings of so many deities, and it had enormous capabilities, this boy. And so he was quite friendly with the Ganas, and then slowly, as he grew up, he started showing his suppressed evil side, and he started dominating and domineering over the gods. He started troubling the Ganas, then he would descend into the mortal realms and trouble the humans, the other animals, and so on. But he was quite powerful, very capable, in fact, and he decided to perform tapasya as every asura does to Brahma. And Brahma was pleased after a very long tapasya that he did, and he granted him some boons that he cannot be killed by any deva, Indra, sorry, deva, asura, rakshasa, and so on. So what he forgot to ask was, uh, so in his boon, he started asking that he cannot be killed by, yaksha, rakshasa, gandharva, deva, manushya, pashu, etc. And he used all masculine ending words, all pullinga words. So he never even cared to mention that he didn't even know perhaps that there are some devis. So he had this very patriarchal, misogynist mindset, and so he didn't even bother. Perhaps he knew, perhaps he just thought that no woman could ever harm him. So he just, this is very similar to Mahishasura too. So he prayed and he asked for all these boons, and Brahma, he already knew the loophole how to kill him, and so he granted these boons to him. He became enormously powerful. And as with any Rakshasa and as with any person who gets a lot of power, he becomes corrupt. And so he started abusing the gods and the other realms, creating an imbalance. And then Indra and the other gods, they remembered that Devi had given them a boon earlier when Mahishasura was killed and when Shumbha and Nishubha were killed, that just pray to me and I shall come and remove your apad, remove any danger that you are in. And so they started praying to the goddess. Devarshi Gana Sanghata Stuyamana Atma Vibhava. And so her Atma Vibhava, they started praising her glories. They started eulogizing her in very great terms. Devarshi Gana, not just the Devas, even the Rishi. Deva, Rishi, Gana, and Ganas also, they came together, Sanghata and Stuyamana. They started praising her. Mhm. And then she emerged from Chid Agni Kunda, and from that fire that the rishis and the others were performing a yajna for, from that fire, which is called Chid Agni, emerged this goddess who is called Lalita. And so far, we have seen what her description, what her image looks like, what her different organs are from the top, from head, from tip to toe. We have seen how she looked and how ferociously illuminous she was. And now, after she has emerged, they have prayed to her to please restore balance in this universe by putting this Asura in his place. And so it says, Bhandasura Vadhodyukta Shakti Sena Samanvita. Then what did she do? So she Bhandasura Vadha Udyukta to the for the objective for fulfilling the objective of killing Vadha of Bhandasura, she became ready, Udyukta, and Shakti Sena Samanvita. So she created an entire Sena, an entire army of just female deities called Shakti. Shakti Sena. In fact, in the actual Bhagavata Purana, the Srimad, not the Bhagavata of Sri Krishna, but the Devi Bhagavata Purana, there is a, and even in the Brahmanda Purana, there is an elaborate story of how many Akshohinis were there. Then Bhandasura came with how many Akshohinis first, and then there were the brothers of Bhanda, and first, then the ministers. So there's a very large, very detailed description of the battle which ensued. But in this stotram, in just 10 or 8 or 10 verses, they summarize that entire thing. And in doing that, their main objective is to praise Lalita for her fiery power in this battle. So it is not to actually give the entire description of the battle itself, but to only say, to create an imagery of how Lalita, not only is she just beauty, but she also has the brawn and the brains too. Sampatkari Samarudha Sindhura Vraja Sevita. And then she was surrounded by the innermost circle of elephants, Sindhura, and it was led, this battalion of elephants was led by a Shakti whose name is called Sampatkari. Perhaps it is refers to Lakshmi because Lakshmi is Vahana and Lakshmi is usually surrounded by Gajas, by Sindhuras too. So it could probably be a reference to Lakshmi being the in charge, the commander for the elephant army, the elephant segment of her army. And then Ashwarudha Adhishthita Ashwa Koti Koti Bhiravrata. And then for the second circle is of the Ashwas, of the horses, the cavalry, which counts into millions. Koti Koti, not just millions, but billions of Ashwas have surrounded her. And there is a deity called the Devi called Ashwarudha. Literally, it just means one who has climbed on a horse, who has mounted a horse, and that Adhishthita. So she has She is in command of, she's in charge of this entire cavalry. Again, Ashwarudha is also another name for Indra's Patni, which is Shachi Devi, because she also rides Ashwa. And then Chakraraja Ratharudha Sarvayudha Parishkrita. And then she herself has mounted a chariot called the Chakraraja. Again, this is also in one way literally the name of a chariot which is called Chakraraja. The other metaphorical or symbolic meaning is she has now uh, mounted the Sri Chakra. The Sri Chakra, which also in the 3D dimension, the 3D projection, it is looks like a chariot or a circular chariot. And so she has mounted that Chakra Raja Ratharudha Sarvayudha Parishra. In fact, this Sri Chakra has, maybe we'll discuss about Sri Chakra on another day, but so many mandalas are there. Sarva Sankshobhini Chakra, Sarva Vidravana Chakra, and all of that, which also not just represent the Ratha itself, but even the formation of the army, which are called the Vyuhas. Even her entire Shakti Sena was organized and strategized in that particular form. Chakra Raja, just as we hear from the Mahabharata that there is something called as, Chakra Vyuha and all that, Gaja Vyuha, Garuda Vyuha, and all that, Sarpa Vyuha and such. There is a particular formation of the army which is referred, which is also in the shape of the Sri Chakra. And Sarvayudha Parishkrita, she is glistening and glowing with all ayudhas. Any ayudha that we can imagine is in her hands. Geya Chakra Ratharudha Mantrini Parisevita. And then her pet minister, her most favorite confidant, which is Mantrini, her name is Mantrini. She is standing beside her chariot, in her own chariot called the Geya Chakra. Geya Chakra. And again, once again, it's also metaphorical because Geya means something which is related to music. So Mantrini, of course, could be a reference to Saraswati herself. Geya Chakra Ratharudha Mantrini Parisevita. So she is her advisor, a chief advisor, the prime minister, Mantrini. And then Kiri Chakra Ratharudha Dandanatha Puraskrita. In another chariot beside her is the commander in chief of the army, who is called the Dandanatha. Her name is Dandanatha, and she is Puraskrita. She is a little forward. She is leading this army, and Lalita is following her from the behind. And the name of her chariot is Kiri Chakra. Kiri again means something like a Mayura, or it can also mean wealth. It perhaps is again a reference to Dandanatha is Kaumari, because she also holds the veil, the Trishula like spear, and this could be the commander in chief. If you remember, Shanmukha or Subramanya himself is also the the commander in chief of the entire Devasena too, in the male version. In the female version, his Shakti, which is called Dandanatha, has come here. Jwala Malinika Kshipta Vanhi Prakara Madhyaga. And then there is another Devata called Jwala Malini. Again, literally, it means one who has worn a garland of fire and flames. Jwala Malinika Kshipta Vahni Prakara Madhyaka. And this Jwala Malini Devi has created another circle of fire around Lalita for protection and for guarding. Like a forest fire, she has created an entire orb of fire around Lalita to protect as well as defend as well as be an offense. And Jwala Malini, again, this could be the Shakti of Agni. Jwala Malini is the name of Swadha and Swaha. So it could be again she who has come here. Bhanda Sainya Vadhodyukta Shakti Vikrama Harshita. And to kill the entire Sainya of Bhanda who has come, some Purana say it is 120 or 1200 Akshauhinis, which is a very unimaginably large number of asuras who he has amassed, and they have come to uh, you know usurp the kingdom of gods. Bhanda Sainya Vadhodyukta Shakti Vikrama Harshita, and all the Shakti Sena, that is her own Sena, they are Vikrama, they are attacking, they are pouncing upon the entire Sainya of Bhanda. And so she is having this thrill, Harshita. It is so thrilling that she's enjoying the thrill of this battle. And Nitya Parakrama Topa Nirikshana Samutsuka. And then further on, after these commanders in chief, then there are other yoginis, the other devis, who are called the Nitya Devis. And the list of these devis, maybe I'll send it over on the group later on. In fact, the names of these deities also comes in another stotram, a very popular stotram called the Khadgamala, Devi Khadgamala stotram, in which Nitya, Aruna, Nitya Kline, Bherunde, all these devis come. And they are lesser in hierarchy, and they have started Parakrama. They have shown their valor and bravery, Atopa, and they are uh, kind of proud also. They are showing, they're very aggressive, they are very arrogant in their attacks. And Nirikshana Samutsuka, and she is watching all of this carefully. And Utsuka, she is so curious and so thrilled and enthralled to watch this battle unfold before her. Bhandaputra Vadhodyukta Bala Vikrama Nandita. And then there is another Devi called the Bala. Some people say it is the daughter of Lalita, and some others just say it is just the child version, the younger version of Lalita. Whereas Lalita is called Shodashi, which means one who is of 16 years of age. Lalita. Bala is 8 years, perhaps some people say 9, or it could be 8 years. And there is also another significance to this, because there is actually a mantra called the Panchadashi, also called as Shodashi mantra, which is also the Sri Chakra mantra. The actual mantra to be chanted or done japa of while doing the Sri Chakra puja is called the Panchadashakshari mantra. And again, it's again a pun, because Panchadashi or Shodashi is also the name of Lalita itself, who is the guardian deity as well as the Ishta Devata of Sri Chakra and the Aradhya Deva. And Bala, whereas the Panchadashakshari is a 15 lettered, 15 syllabled mantra, uh, Bala mantra is about half of it. So it's in fact a smaller mantra, which in the Sri Chakra, in the Sri Vidya tradition, is given first as a beginner's mantra, and then an advanced, for more advanced seekers, is the actual Sri Vidya mantra given. In fact, it is kept so concealed and so secretive that even till date, wherever Adi Shankaracharya has done Pratishtha of Sri Chakra and appointed a certain Yati to that order, they maintain it very secret, very confidently, that only the next successor designate actually gets imparted that Diksha of Sri Vidya. And of course, there are other traditions like the Nath Sampradaya and Shaktiya Sampradayas too, where they do give the Diksha of the Sri Vidya mantra. Uh, However, that is in fact more esoteric in its meaning, because it is unlike any other mantra where there is an actual word and that word has some kind of a meaning. Even the Gayatri mantra, of course, is a collection of words and it has some meaning to it. We are not debating or competing, pitting one mantra against another, but I'm just saying the speciality of that Sri Vidya mantra is it actually has no words, it is only letters and syllables. So it is a collection of Bijakshara mantras, which the Vagdevatas themselves have discovered to be particular points of activation, which correlate to the particular points of activation within the Kundalini system of yoga. And therefore, it is very intimately linked to both yoga and tantras and the Samayachara and Dakshinachara, the Samayachara Marga of Devi worship. And in that, the younger version, the smaller, more beginner friendly version is the Bala mantra. coming back to this, so Bala is another Devi who, though very young, is also participating in the war. And Bala Vikrama, once again, she is showing her enormous capability and prowess in battle. And she is Nandita. She is so happy looking at it. Mantrini Amba Virachita Vishanga Vadhatoshita. And then Mantrini, some people say it's also Saraswati, she kills Vishanga. So there's another, maybe perhaps the counterpart of the Mantrini on the side of Bhanda's army. So she kills him. Mantrinyamba Virachita Vishanga Vadha Toshita. She is so happy looking at that. And then Vishukra Prana Harana Varahi Viryanandita. And then there is also Varahi who is participating in the war. Some people say Dandanatha refers to Varahi itself. However, it is unclear because there are different versions of this story. Varahi is the boar-faced Devi. She kills Pranaharana. She takes away the life of Vishukra. And through her mm, battle strategies, Nandita, again, she is Virya Nandita. She is very pleased with it. Kameshwara Mukha Loka Kalpita Shri Ganeshwara. And when all of this is happening, Bhanda gets very angry and he creates a magical yantra called the Stambhana Yantra, or also called the Vighna Yantra, which so a yantra is like a line, a design that is drawn, a geometric design which is drawn. So he, using his magical powers, creates a yantra on the battlefield itself, that anybody who steps on this yantra becomes stambha. They get frozen, right? So he creates this magical yantra, and the entire Shakti Sena becomes stabdha. They get frozen. And looking at this, uh, you know, Lalita thinks of a strategy where though she is frozen, her eyes look at Kameshwara. Her eyes look at Shiva. And Kameshwara Mukha Loka. So because of her eyes meeting, her glance meeting Kameshwara's glance, just with this exchange of glance itself, Kalpita Shri Ganeshwara, by this holy union of their glances alone, Shri Ganeshwara, even Ganeshwara, that is Ganesha itself, is born. Again, this is a little, mm, I would say, a spin-off from the actual Ganesha story where he's born from the Gandha of Parvati. Here it is Sri Ganeshwara. Some people again say it is a Tantric Ganesha who is born, a temporary Ganeshwara who is born. And this Ganeshwara, as is the actual typical Ganesha, who is the Vigneshwara, who is able to break down any obstacle, any hurdle. So, because of the exchange of their glances, is born this phenomenal deity of Ganeshwara, who Mahaganesha Nirbhinna Vigna Yantra Praharshita, and then he destroys this entire yantra, this Vigna Yantra, thus freeing the entire Shakti Sena along with Lalita from this. How do you put this? This Stambhana. So she is very happy, Praharshita. And then Bhandasura Nirmukta Shastra Pratyastra Varshini. Now looking at this, Bhandasura becomes uh, he comes into a temper, and he Nirmukta Shastra. He starts firing millions of arrows. He showers those arrows from the sky at the Shakti Sena and Lalita. And to counter them, just as you can think of this as a modern day depiction of Pakistan firing missiles, and they're shelling bombs, and the Indian side is guarding it by countering them through its own missiles. So she also does pratyastra. She uses her own missiles to counteract them. Karangoli Nakhotpanna Narayana Dashakriti. And then Bhandasura, because he has the blessings of so many deities, he creates, he goes back in time and calls upon every single asura which has fought the devas. So starting from Hayasura, and all the Rahu, Ketu, and all those asuras, and Tarakasura, Mahishasura, and there's so many. I can't really remember all of those. And Even Hiranyakashipu he calls forth, Hiranyaksha, Bali, and what is his name? Haihaya Asura is also called as Kartavirya Arjuna, and others. So he goes back in time and also goes front in time. So he does a time travel, and whichever Rakshasa is yet to come and already has come, he somehow makes this time warp and brings all them onto the battlefield. And looking at this Shakti Sena is terrified and stumbled because how will they even fight all these major asuras who had to be countered by avatars of other devas themselves? So, looking at this, Lalita looks at her nails, her very long nails, very beautiful long nails, um, Karanguli, and from her fingernails, Nakha Utpanna, from her nails emerge Narayana Dashakritihi. From her 10 fingers emerge the 10 avatars of Narayana, of Vishnu. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki. So all of these emerge from her, just her Karanguli, and they battle with all those time traveled Rakshasas. Finally, what happens is when it gets too out of hand, Mahapashupatastra Agni Nirdagdha Asura Sainika. And finally, some people say it is Shiva himself who becomes the Astra for Lalita, and others say it is just his own Astra which she borrows. And Mahapashupatastra, from that Mahapashupata, it's equivalent to the Brahmastra. In fact, some people say it's more powerful. And this nuclear weapon kind of a thing, she nukes this entire Sena with the Bhandasura Sena, and they all turn to cinders, Nirdagdha. They all get completely seared and they reduce themselves to ashes. Mahapashupatastragni Nirdagdha Asura Sainika. And finally, what happens? Only Bhandasura is remaining and his capital city. So he flees back to his capital city and hides there using Maya. And then Kameshwarastra Nirdagdha Sabhandasura Shunyaka. And finally, she discharges a missile called the Kameshwarastra. Once again, it could be a metaphor to mean she actually sends Kameshwara himself flying into the the twin towers of Bhandasura to destroy it, or it is an astra name also, Kameshwarastra, Nirdagdha, and then with that final missile, entire Bhandasura as well as his entire capital city and that capital tower gets completely reduced to ashes. She raises all of it to the ground. And Brahmopendra Mahendradi Deva Samstuta Vaibhava. Brahma, Upendra, that is Vishnu, Mahendra, that is Rudra, Adi Deva, and everyone other such devas, Samstuta Vaibhava, they prostrate before her and thank her in immense gratitude, and they sing her praises uh, with a very lightened heart. Now that there has been balance which has been restored, the dharma samsthapana has happened again. And the devas who should rightfully be at the top of the creation, they have found their place back. Now, another take on this is that once the avahana has been done in the mind, so first we said Shri Mata, Shri Maharajni, Shrimat Simhasaneshwari, Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta, Devakarya Samudita. So she has risen from her own awareness, from her own inner depths of consciousness. She has come into her mind. And then from her crescent moon at the top of her head and the crown till her very toenails and her feet, we have envisaged her. Further on, after the dhyana, when she actually has been energized through her own pranas, this form is now present in her mind. It takes on its own will and volition. So, this energy, though it was instigated, it was seeded by our own energies, by our own prana, it grows manifold, it collects other energies from the cosmos. The deities, the devas, and the devatas help us uh, and the inner Kundalini itself gets transformed into this very spectacular Devi, who first must cleanse the body. So, in any psychedelic medicine, too, if we have seen, it first concerns itself with purging the body of its impurities, be it ayahuasca or MDMA or whatever other psychedelics are present. Some of them are also hallucinogens. So they first create a physiological reaction in the body where it either excreta and feces come out or vomit, the body vomits out any remaining substance in the body. And also at the cellular level, it creates an entire cascade of excretion. So people sweat and they start breathing heavily and so on. This is what any good medicine is supposed to do. Similarly, the Devi herself, once she has become Prakata in our own consciousness, she first takes on the task of cleansing the body of the Bhanda. Now, Bhanda is, as you recall the story, has risen from the ashes of burnt lust. So this is a very advanced stage where a yogi or a yogini has done this sadhana, and the energies have reached the Ajna chakra, which is symbolic of the third eye of Shiva. And then with that, somehow the vasanas have been reduced. They have been suppressed or turned to somewhat ashes by their jnanagni. But still, the vasanas, though they have been burned down because of some unknown forces, maybe Maya or whatever, they again take birth in ourselves. So these burned down vasanas too will again keep coming back. And in fact, with greater force. Even psychology admits to this fact that any repressed and suppressed emotion will come back after a while with greater force and greater intensity. So that is what Bhandasura perhaps represents. That in our own self, all the vasanas, either this janmas or if we believe in previous and other janmas, the others also. And you see this, I mean, not Shumba, Bhanda goes back in time and also goes forward in time. Maybe that is a representation of the vasanas coming from both the succeeding as well as the preceding lives. All of that come together. And at this such an advanced stage, before the actual energies go and reach the Sahasrara, all the karma phala should get extinguished. And therefore, Lalita herself aids this advanced yogi or the sadhaka or sadhika to finally put an end to all this karma and the karma bijas by uh, utterly extinguishing and annihilating them once and for all. This is one take of what this war represents. And each of the different deities, of course, represent different forces, the good and the evil forces, the opposing antagonistic forces within ourselves. Uh, and Mahaganesha is again a force which emerges from Muladhara because Ganesha is the governing deity of the Muladhara. And then Kameshwara is of the Swadhisthana, and Varahi is, it is said to be the Vishuddhi chakra, because you see the only the neck up is the boar face of the Devi, so it could represent the Vishuddhi chakra, and also Vishukra also is a synonym. It's a hint at it being the Vishuddhi chakra, and Mantrini is also one other, perhaps the Anahata or something like that. So all in all of this both means a metaphorical war within ourselves as well as a cosmic metaphysical war which has transpired. Please be on mute. All right. I think this is a good place to stop, because after the Devatas do the praise of Devi, finally what happens is Hara Netragni Sandagdha Kama Sanjeevan Aushadhi. Now Rati is still lamenting. You remember? She's still going from Devata to Devata, and nobody is able, even not even Shiva is, perhaps he is capable, but he doesn't want Kama to be revived. So then she finally comes to Lalita after the war is done, and she beseeches her to revive Kamadeva, her husband. And so she grants her Sumangali Bhava. So she grants her to be happy. And she says, I can't be happy without my husband. And then she says, okay, then let me revive and reincarnate, resurrect this Kamadeva. So Hara Netragni, this Kama who was Dagdha, Sandagdha, who was reduced to ashes by Hara's Netra, by Rudra's Netra, and the fire from that is now Sanjeevana Aushadhi. She became the medicine or the panacea to create back this phoenix which rose from the ashes, this phoenix of Kamadeva which rose back from the ashes. So it was she who finally revived and resurrected Kama, and therefore Kamadeva also owes a really great gratitude to her, and he considers her his mother, Kama. And the word Kamakhya, some people say, actually comes from Kamakshya, which we already discussed. And the other meaning is Kamakhya is that particular form of Lalita where she looks, Akhya means to look, where she looks at Shiva with Kama for Ganesha to be born. So that particular image, that particular um, episode, as well as that still image of she looking at Kameshwara, is also called as Kamakhya Devi. Astu. Now, any other questions? Anybody would like to add something? Contribute to the discussion, please. There are many knowledgeable people here, so please do. I see Raghavendra, Pranav, Kantimati, Usha, ma'am. Would you like to add something? Astu. Dhanyavadah. Shvaha milama. We shall meet tomorrow.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಅಧ್ಯಾಪಕ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಅಧ್ಯಾಪಕರೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.